Hello and welcome to another episode of One Fall WrestleCast Live. We're joining you here on a Sunday, fresh off of Full Gear, fresh off of a tremendous SmackDown with the return of one Paul Heyman. Oh yeah, Phil was there too. Jade Cargill might legitimately be injured. Possible spoiler on who the mystery opponent in the triple threat might be. Tom and I got some stuff. We're going to have a good time with it. Yes, we are.
Welcome to the One Fall WrestleCast.
It's Sunday night, and you know what that means. We got Walt Caliber here with Mr. Tom. We got a jam-packed show for you today, and I'm not going to make any sense about anything moving forward for the remainder of the evening.
Is that Excalibur's mask?
No.
What's that? That looks like Sin Cara or something.
It is. It's Sin Cara's mask.
Yeah. That's see. I know my luchadors.
Funny story. I actually bought that to wear to work during the pandemic.
I mean,
covered my whole face.
The better look. Nobody at that time. We didn't know we were supposed to.
Yeah, we didn't know shit. You know,
we didn't know anything. I was walking around with. I had a Mortal Kombat that I got for pre-ordering Mortal Kombat in 11. It was like one of those neck.
Oh yeah, gaiters. I rocked the fuck out of those during.
Yeah, I had a Mortal Kombat Scorpion neck gaiter that I wore for probably the first 6 months of the pandemic.
And then I just gave up, and it was what it was. After that, I was part of the problem.
I just stopped leaving. Stopped going anywhere, really.
Well, I didn't have a choice. I was an essential employee.
That's right. I worked from home, and I just stopped going places. I ordered everything online. I've still not recovered from that. Actually, I still I don't know. I don't really go to the grocery store still. It's all Instacart.
Yeah, well, you've created new habits. That's all.
Yeah, that's all. New habits.
It's new habits. New habits.
So
but I don't know. You got up to go put your beer in and I was like, man, I'm gonna go full on Excalibur here.
I enjoyed the Sin Cara mask though, and I'm glad I knew it was Sin Cara.
Yeah.
I don't know how many I'd have pulled out of my head. I'd have probably got Axiom, but
I have three luchador masks. I have this one, which is really, really dope, like the full face, and then I've got a Rey Mysterio one, and then I've got a Pentagon Junior one, which is dope.
I have that Rey one that Pat got me.
Yeah, that's the one that I have too. Yeah. But my Pentagon one is dope because it's got the sequins that, like, if you rub one way, they're one color. If you rub them the other way, they're another color. Yeah, it's really sweet, and then it's got like this.
Penta low key has probably the best match.
It's pretty sweet with the things that hang down. Like, it's a lot of fun. I find myself grabbing that one a lot. Like,
and then when he goes with the full the face paint and stuff with it is, I appreciate the gimmick and the look.
Absolutely. So, we might be appreciating it in WWE here some in 20.
Well, we will once
in 2025.
We will once they get out of contract prison. Yeah.
Yeah, well, only one of them is in contract prison,
right.
So there's that. Yeah. Well, sounds like you're having a good weekend. Sounds like you had a little bit of a crazy day.
It was good crazy, but like it was just busy.
That. Yeah. Yesterday one of my good friends celebrated their 40th birthday, and I went and back to the old hometown.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You were in Weirton yesterday.
I was in Weirton yesterday. Yep.
Oh,
there's a lot of eating for such a small city.
Is. We were like we left and they were like, "Hey, what if we put a bunch of good restaurants here. And then it was like, where was all this shit when we were here?
Yeah, right. So, and then I've got I got an outing for my managers tomorrow. That's going to be dope. And then tonight, another good friend of mine got promoted, and we're having a gun away party for him after we're done recording this. So, I'm all about celebrating them good times right now.
Well, cheers to everybody with the good times.
Absolutely.
I'm bringing back the nostalgia good times. Got a Miller Genuine Draft going here.
Hell yeah,
because that's some nostalgia good times. Well, I just had a 10% some kind of Christmas monkey or something from what Victory.
Hey, bub, I already told you what you do in your own free time is none of my business. Okay, I mean, I don't know what a Christmas monkey is, but you live your best life over there. I'm just saying. Just saying.
It's just a beer, okay. Walter.
Just saying. So,
it's a monkey beer.
Hey man, plenty of things to talk about. I'm sure we're going to go off the rails. It's kind of what we do around here from time to time. But if you're hanging out with us right now, man, we appreciate you. You go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. That would be super cool. But hey man, I want to go ahead and I want to get rolling right into the Wrestle Talk. And first and foremost, I don't know how much you pay attention to upcoming events or ticket sales,
kind of only if they're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so like
if we can go, and then I text you and I'm like, "Hey, are we gonna go to this? What are we gonna do?" And then we look at the ticket prices and we're like, "How the fuck are they charging that much for that?" And that's
BT Dubs. Since you're gonna not be in town for the Ramble,
yeah.
Friend of the show, Pat Martin, and I may be making plans to attend the Ramble, which would be super cool.
Are you guys gonna go? Like, you guys gonna go to Indy?
Yeah, I think so.
You totally should.
I really want to.
I will be in. I will cheer you on from. I'll be in Seattle that Saturday, but I will cheer you on from Seattle, and I will be looking for you, and I'll have my phone out, and if I could take your picture, because you're on the TV while I'm. How crazy would that be, right?
That'd be nuts, dude. That'd be nuts.
That'd be some kind of like. That would be insanity. I took a picture of you while I was in Seattle, but you were at the Royal Rumble. It's like Inception.
Hey, I was at WrestleMania. I mean,
yeah,
my fat head floating around out there.
Dude, that was so crazy. It was like, what is that, Walt? It like I saw it 5 times before I was like, okay, that's not Walt, but it was totally. It looked like you, because they like,
yeah,
your long lost brother was holding up a giant head.
Well, it was something. But anyways, I digress, right? So, the last time I looked, I didn't see any tickets on sale for AEW beyond 2024.
Let's look now.
Which, if I'm being honest, is that's scary, right? Like, that's not a good thing. Did you go to AEWtix.com?
I just went to so there's a pre-sale for the last ticket. So there's December 28th in Orlando, Florida, and then Saturday, July 12th in Arlington, Texas, which is all
that's it. That's it.
So there is a 7-month 6.5 month gap.
That's a problem, right?
Do they not have anywhere like it's? I mean, I would say so. You would think there would at least be some January dates here, right?
That's a problem, right? Like
there would at least be January dates, right?
You would think there's definitely January dates for WWE outside of the Royal Rumble. I guarantee if you search WWE on that ticket site that you're on, you're going to find at least
just Ticketmaster.
Okay, well then type in WWE, and I'm willing to bet that they probably have events through first quarter listed on there.
More events. Sure do. February. They have dates up through April.
Yeah, so pretty much first quarter, beginning portion of second quarter. Um, Tom, like, I had heard recently that AEW was talking about moving into smaller buildings
Yeah,
for the
that was my thought, is that maybe they haven't picked the buildings yet,
for the
but
2025 years. They're going to move into smaller buildings so that like it doesn't feel so empty. But like I look at it from the standpoint of
so
when they come.
we booking middle school gyms now? Is that
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, what do we do? I look at it from the standpoint of we'll use Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as an example because that's our best sample size, right?
right?
Um,
And Pittsburgh comes out for AEW. Like
yes, and the Pete's
Pittsburgh is
not the Pete's not PPG paints, right?
no,
Like
it's the Pete is what 9,000.
I think we figured out it was like 10-5, almost 11. I think when the last time we had this conversation.
I think we figured it was closer to 12, maybe with the, now that you're saying that, with the floor. We're somewhere near 12, like 11 and a half, 11 something, 11 and change.
So I mean, it's not a massive building.
No, but it's fine. Like 12,000, like that's decent. Like that's generally the size of concert I go to.
And then PPG paints we figured is what, like 22,000, I think.
I know that something in 87.
Okay, so
like 22,087 or whatever that first number is in 87.
So I mean, that's a substantially larger building. Absolutely. And
twice the size.
So WWE runs PPG Paints Arena when they come to Pittsburgh, and AEW runs the Pete, which is across town, which is where the University of Pitt plays basketball. And it's a substantially smaller building. It's got a more intimate feel. And it's not like, you watch AEW and it's not like they're running A buildings. Like, yeah, when they're in Chicago, they run the United Center, because that's the building. Like Chicago shows up, much like Pittsburgh, Chicago shows up. But like, even in Pittsburgh, the very top of the Pete is curtained off.
Yeah, they don't let you get the nosebleed. You can't get the cheap seats, are blacked out. You don't get the cheap seats.
And I'd say this last time for Dynamite 5 when we were there, it was pretty close to a sellout. I'd say there was probably 6,000 people there. Based on the configuration that it had, which was a pretty good crowd for AEW, in this stretch of time right now. You know what I'm saying? But if you look back 3 years ago or 4 years ago when we went to the first show in Pittsburgh, and we sat, we bought tickets up top. They upgraded us because they were working on pushing us in. But even then, the upper bowl was open.
Yeah.
The second time we went, when CM Punk and Dustin Rhodes kicked off the show, the second bowl was open because we were sitting in the second bowl.
Yeah. Well, and they had CM Punk, so they were doing big gates with CM Punk. They were selling out them little basketball arenas. That's for sure. Or pretty close to. They were filling those little basketball arenas with CM Punk.
Shout out to everyone in the chat, including One Fall WrestleCast. Keep up the good work on the channel. Appreciate it. Shout out from South Bronx. Brother BKL Contreras, a.k.a. Sportstainment Guy. Hey, man, appreciate you being here.
Love you, buddy.
We go through, and it's like, I don't – there's not a third option in Pittsburgh. I mean, you maybe do the Lawrence Convention Center, but, like, that doesn't have, like, a – you know what I'm saying? So
it's not like you'd have to like rent a room. It'd be weird.
Yeah, it's and obviously there's multiple arenas in multiple markets, right? And like especially where it comes to
now that I'm thinking about Pittsburgh, they could do what's Duquesne's basketball. It's not really great for stuff like this, but RMU has a place too.
Yeah, so but that's outside that's on the outskirts of town though. That's
it's in Moon. I mean,
whatever
Duquesne's is. What the hell is that building called? It's smaller.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but regardless,
we'd be sitting on bleachers though.
And it's not set up for a professional production, right?
Yeah.
So like, I've got to feel like that building's out. But let's talk about other markets that we might not be as familiar with. So then, like, you go into a place like New York. Obviously, they use the tennis arena, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like the first one was awesome, and then the second one was awesome. And then the third one was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then this past one, I think they sold like 5,000 tickets. And that's a big ass tennis stadium.
It's a
you
big place, and there's a lot of people in New York,
Yeah,
and 5,000 people is nothing. It's a drip of that's nothing in New
I mean,
York.
I feel like they put more people in Bridgeport, Connecticut 2 weeks ago whenever we were dogging on the crowd than they did at Grand Slam. But again,
Yeah,
I
I don't-
digress. This is we're not here to bash them right now. We'll get into their problems creatively and other as we continue, I'm sure, because it's kind of what we do around here these days. But I just don't understand what type of smaller venue they could run. Like they're, like when they came to Charleston, West Virginia, they did the Charleston Convention Center, which is a decently large, or the Charleston Civic Center, sorry, which is a decently large little arena. I think friend of the show, Pat Martin, went to that. I can't remember. But like watching it on TV, the crowd looked big, but that's a smaller building. So maybe they're going to look at those secondary and third type markets. Maybe Tony Khan's going to look at, maybe he's making a smart business decision and he's going to look to capitalize on WWE pulling back some of those house shows in those smaller markets. Maybe he's going to make a smart business decision and look to move into those markets that may or may feel neglected moving forward. And I think that might actually be a pretty smart move to move into some of those towns that WWE's like, there's not really enough interest for me here.
They could do the Wheeling where the Nailers play. Wheeling.
It's still, I think it's still the West Banco Arena.
West Banco Arena. That's what it is. That's a pretty small venue.
Yeah, but I mean, WWE house shows used to run there all the time.
They did.
And like it was a suitable venue for a smaller show. And now Wheeling's another one of those markets that doesn't necessarily get any traveling wrestling. I don't think that they've held a WWE event at West Banco since, I don't know. I saw Seth Rollins in the Sheets and Weirton. Like, and he was he had just come back from his ACL surgery. That's how long ago they ran a wrestling event in Wheeling.
His first one?
Yeah, from whenever he was the world champion.
Before he told Triple H that he wanted to, before he turned on Triple H, like that long ago.
He was it was the reclaim, rebuild, whatever.
Yeah, that.
He was that version of Seth Rollins. So I don't know, right? Like, it's interesting though.
It's. I mean, I think it's a good thought to try to get into the size of arena that you can have, because I think something that John Moxley had said, and I had sent it in our little group chat before, was something to the tune of like, you have to walk before you can run, and I feel like we were crawling and we were up and walking. And then we went from like kind of not walking, like starting to walk, to like trying to sprint. And that didn't work. So we're pulling it back a little bit, and it's exciting to see what's moving forward. So I hope they're making good choices. They seem to be starting to make good choices in certain areas. And then sometimes we're back to like where AEW is both having a really great, like a really high point and the lowest point. And it's like, that's, if you cut the show back 4 or 5 years, like that was our biggest like they would have the highest point of the week and the absolute lowest point of the week every week. And this is when WWE sucked and everything was bad. But it was also like one of those things where we were, it was like, okay, but like we're building momentum. Like this was good. This was good. This was good. This stuff was bad, but this was, and I feel like we're starting to get back to that, because there were points in time where everything was just bad. But I'm hoping to see, like you said, right now. I mean, who knows where they're going to be, because they got nothing booked. They might be coming to a middle school gymnasium near you, but
man, I really, I sure hope that that's not the case, right? I feel like maybe what I'm saying is maybe I'm on to something here, because like those are still bigger markets, right?
Uh-huh.
With bigger arenas, like a Wheeling, West Banco, right? Like I
Right.
think that would be a good AEW venue. I think it's
That'd
the
be a
right
great.
size.
I'd
You
love to
know,
go to Wheeling to see an AEW show. I
and
love Wheeling.
it's close enough to Pittsburgh that I think Pittsburgh wrestling fans would travel.
It's like not even an hour, really, and it's
Y-
cheap. That's the beauty of it too. Is
Yeah.
like you can go eat in Wheeling, eat good for like $50 for two of you.
Shout out to the Vagabond Kitchen.
Go eat. Yeah, you eat good for cheap in Wheeling. Go watch a good wrestling show. Drinks and stuff are cheap in that building. And like stuff's good in that building. Like that building has like a lot of like that building's cool. Like I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old venue.
Yeah.
Um, but like, I don't know, man. Like you walk in there and it just feels like it's got life experience.
Yeah.
Like it's that building's seen some shit.
In when I was, I mean, so I went to college pretty close to Wheeling, and I because of that, I had friends who worked with the Nailers because they were, in sports type of majors and stuff. So they worked with the Nailers to kind of get they were interns and what have you. So we would get Nailers tickets all the time. And like when you don't have anything to do on a Tuesday and you have 15 free Nailers tickets, fucking yeah, you make the freshman drive and you go to the Nailers games.
Yeah.
And it's you have a blast on a Tuesday and you get $4 beers. And
I don't even think it's 4, but I think it's like 2.
I mean, it depends on what you were drinking. And at the time it might have been 2. That they may have had $2 beer nights on like Wednesdays or some shit at that point in time.
I think they're still doing $2 beer nights.
The last time I was there, I saw Ice Nine Kills on a Saturday, so it wasn't. I didn't get to eat. I didn't get that, but
man, that's making me feel nostalgic for a Nailers game.
Right?
Fuck, man,
dude, we used to go to Nailers games, and like because those arenas, especially during the week, were like mostly empty. We would go behind the goalie of the opposing team and heckle him, and then when they would switch sides, we would just move our asses to the other side of the arena and heckle him on the other side of the arena.
Bro, it's so funny because by like the middle of the first period, if those seats around the glass aren't fucking taken up,
oh yeah,
that's first come, first serve, bro.
Yeah.
Like, and
we were
most
like
of the time,
up. We were up on the first level, and you can walk all the way around. At least you could. Like if you hop the banisters, like and actually I think the banisters had places you could slide through anyway.
Listen, they did a renovation on that building, and while we continue to just go down memory lane, right?
While we fall down a rabbit hole of a building nobody else has been to besides you and I.
They did a renovation and they put like suites now, right? Like they're not really suites like you would expect a suite to be, but it's like your own little like railinged off area with like a table and like a wraparound couch and like they did a good job with what they had. You know what I mean? And it's like
wraparound couches from like the Salvation Army down
probably,
the street.
probably, but
let's be fair.
At least the last time I was in there, that's how it was set up. So like, but anyways, man, I think that there's a lot of smaller buildings like that, right?
Yeah.
That everybody's got that hometown nostalgic feel for, that could house an AEW show and look fantastic on television as they do what Moxley said, and they begin to learn how to walk.
Yeah, because they gotta be able to walk, because their walk is a little stumbly, kind of like Mox's walk is stumbly. Sometimes it's an okay walk. You get a stride going sometimes, and then they trip on their own feet and they go like when they pull this WCW shit, like when they decide to like, we're gonna have Big Boom AJ and Big
Oh
Justice
God,
and
I gotta pump your brakes, pal.
all right.
I gotta get you wound up on that a little bit more, but we gotta finish this crawl, walk, and run conversation because I think that was big news that happened this week. And I like how it all kind of ties into what we're talking about with ticket sales and smaller venues. I feel like the television product is following a different script, so to speak, right?
it
Like
definitely is.
they are trying so hard to create some continuity and create some production value and create some angle. Some of it's working, some of it's not. However, they're doing something, and I think this whole kind of let's slow down. Okay, let's not be so indie-rific. We've already lost our goodwill with the audience. Let's reel it in. Let's take a step back and let's solidify what our identity is as a company. And then we can continue to move forward. I get that feeling based on the things that are being said in interviews, based on the product that I see in front of me. I feel like somebody is saying no. And it's a good thing for that product because there's so much talent there that they just haven't figured out what to do with it. And you see guys like Darby Allin are like getting a little bit more theatrical acty, but still throwing himself off of shit because that's what he likes to do. But like he's got a dimension to his character now that he didn't have before. And then you take somebody like MJF, who's now, off filming this movie, but he's still kind of working. And even though he should be there because he's the top paid guy, he's the top guy and the fucking product's suffering. There's just things that are happening that feel great.
And they're doing a lot more pre-record, and they're doing a lot more like planting the seeds through the show, which I appreciate. At least with the Death Riders, that's kind of that seems to be sort of the thing where it's not like
I feel like that is the vehicle for change. And when Moxley says, "I'm taking this place over," like in front of us, maybe like that's like a real thing. Because he goes and then he says, hey, like, we tried to do this, we tried to do that, we tried to do this, and now we're going to do this. And he's the guy. I feel like maybe he's really part of leading the charge for change.
Yeah. And got to be honest, ever since they changed their name to the Death Riders from the Blackpool Combat Club, everything that's happened has made sense.
Yep.
It's been good. It's been compelling. It's been top guy shit. And
you even complimented Wheeler Yuta 2 weeks ago.
I did, which is fucking shocking.
And honestly, I think you might need
to, this week.
I was going to say, I think you might need to compliment him again this week.
I'm going to do it again.
Just
which is stunning.
Like,
I'm not going to compliment Daniel Garcia though. So what we're saying is Wheeler Yuta is climbing the ladder. Daniel Garcia doesn't know where the ladder is, but Wheeler Yuta is climbing the ladder.
He's reaching for that brass riz, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god! Hopefully not.
Oh, you love that. Come on.
Hopefully not.
You think Wheeler Yuta doesn't have any charisma. He's reaching.
He doesn't have any charisma.
That brass riz, like the old brass ring.
But he is a great. What is he? The fourth member? We'll go with fourth because Marina Shafir's ahead of him. But like he's
for sure. Dude, she's so dope.
He's a great fourth member.
Dynamite fucking. I think it was Wheeler Yuta bounced off of her like a fucking like.
He's awesome, dude. I was so critical of her before, but now that she just follows Mox around with a briefcase and like makes faces, awesome.
She's a heater, bro. I love it. She's China.
Exactly, and she is playing that role.
We have two of those, by the way. We have one on the WWE side of things too.
But
so
she is playing,
I like when that happens though, because then we can compare. But we won't do that today. But
she's playing the role great, and she's compelling. Mox is compelling. I love Claudio's been awesome because he's He's delivering promos in Swedish now, which is
That
fucking
was
great.
dope, right? It was awesome.
It was great. So, big fan
Yeah.
of all that stuff.
I said, "Oh, this is new."
yeah, right.
Okay. Hi, Claudio.
I like it.
Okay.
It happened, and I went, all right.
Yeah, I was into it. Hey, I saw a meme the other day. And it was like the little cartoon headstone with the zombie
Shocking,
hand
I'm
coming
listening.
out of the soil that said RIP, and then it just said, whatever to 2024 Camille's wrestling career. And I'd never laughed so hard at one of them stupid little cartoon memes as I did that one.
I laughed really hard when they did the wrestling meme when Drew McIntyre.
You didn't
was
hear me,
walking
did
around.
you?
I heard a little bit of.
Oh man, I was hoping you would. I was still going to be in earshot. I was setting you up for a comeback. The meme said "R.I.P. Camille's wrestling career."
Oh, yeah. Are we talking about that now?
I mean, we can roll into things that happened in Full Gear, and then we can roll in.
Let's talk about her as a whole, because like I feel like, and then from her we can roll to that. So Mercedes, I figured it out yesterday or today, whatever. What day? The fuck day is it? Today. This morning.
Today's Sunday. I know it's a little weird, right?
Right. This morning, while I was watching Full Gear through, I was flipping through. Mercedes thinks that she is Dominic Mysterio. And this is what I realized in watching this match is that, and thinking back on her previous, like I don't care what the fans think and blah blah blah, that shit. She's playing a heel, but she thinks she's Dominic Mysterio.
Or does she think she's Eddie Guerrero? I mean, Eddie is her hero. Then you could draw the parallel there. I mean,
okay. So what she thinks she's getting is good heat, but what she's getting is go away heat. The crowd on Wednesday chanted at her, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah, it sure did. And then when they announced her, you could hear a pin drop in that building.
Dead silent. And other than "shut the fuck up," we got nothing. She didn't get booed. She didn't get boo. She got nothing. She got silence and shut the fuck up. That's all she got.
And then she tried to set it up too. She was like, "Your CEO," and like there was nothing.
Nothing.
Like she tried to set it, nothing.
Nobody.
Nothing.
It was so bad. You could like hear, you know how you like sometimes you hear like one guy yell something like, "My grandma has AIDS," or whatever. You could hear that.
Yeah.
That's all there was. It was just like dead silent, like they were at church, and like some guy yelled from the back real quick, but nobody said anything.
It wasn't good.
Reacted.
It wasn't good.
It was just as bad during Full Gear. And like I said, I think she's trying to be Dominic Mysterio, but she's right now like 2019 Baron Corbin. And
hey, leave Tom alone. He finished second in the fucking Nagas this week. Okay,
yeah, he did. You're right.
Put some fucking respect on Tom's name.
Put some respect on Tom Pescott. Look, I love Baron Corbin. I thought he was great. I think it's a travesty that he was released.
Oh, it's a goddamn travesty.
That being said, in 2019, they were like, "Hey, this show sucks because Baron Corbin." And then the McMahons all stood in the ring and booed him with the audience. Do you remember that? God,
and then they gave us the speech. "We're gonna listen to you." And then they walked behind the curtain, and Vince went, "That ought to shut him up."
Vince went, "We ain't doing that shit. You're gonna listen to me." And so that's what happened, and it was terrible on Wednesday. It was just as bad on. Man, I feel like Statlander got a little bit of, but even she's kind of like losing the crowd.
I feel like maybe that's got that is where that inconsistency really shines, is with the women's division, right? They've got to figure that out still. And maybe with from what we believe is an exit of one Dustin Reynolds, that women's division might be in total flux.
I mean, maybe that's what it is too. But who their only consistent women's performer, well, not their only one, but their consistent women's performer in Toni Storm is also sort of not.
Yeah, so that's why they picked up the phone and called the dumpster fire.
Which dumpster fire are we talking about?
Oh, my favorite dumpster fire. I don't know how you can have 100 matches in 2024 according to her record.
Kushida?
Yeah. And still just look so discombobulated.
That has to be a padded number, because like I don't feel like we see her that much, and they don't have that many shows.
Not in 2024. I think that was her career record, which would make sense because she was the first woman to ever have 50 wins. And, she was like the first 2-time champion or some shit. Like, she's catching all the history books for AEW.
Right.
But she's awful.
Because she would go out there and stink it up for 5 minutes.
She's awful. Like,
buddy, okay, so she wrestled Wednesday. And this is a good lead into what we're talking about So she wrestled Wednesday, and she wrestled Chris Statlander on Wednesday, and it was like Statlander won, obviously, because Statlander had to have the advantage going into Full Gear to face Mercedes Moné for the title. And man, so when Statlander was in control and like doing power moves on a competitor who she could obviously easily lift and drop and control, right? It didn't seem that bad, but it also seemed just like, all right, well, Statlander's just going to pick her up and throw her and do whatever, because she's got 20 pounds of muscle on her. But like, obviously Shida, being the first 3-time women's world champion and all that, had to get her own offense in. Every time the momentum shifted to Shida's offense, it was like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yup.
It was like, it would go from, this is fine, to, oh my God, what? It was like, what just happened? Why did she, did she hit her? She didn't hit her. She,
I base the
what at her?
I base the watchability of a match, right, on how much I have to fight the urge to pick up my phone and scroll TikTok.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's the ADHD in me. Like, I can't help that.
And
right?
mute it. Like, that's my other thing is
I don't mute it. I don't mute it.
Oh, so I mute AEW a lot.
No, because anytime that I hear Excalibur get all fired up means that something has happened. They're probably going into a commercial break. Hopefully they'll hit a reset during the commercial break, so like that helps me pay attention.
Okay.
It can't explain it. It just works. But yeah, man.
Not how I watch, but yeah.
And then like all the shit after the match, like last I heard, I thought Camille was like legitimately injured.
Well, maybe she is. She was there, but she didn't do anything.
Yeah, but then she took a bump on that shoulder. Like what?
I think it was the other shoulder, because I don't think her shoulder's injured. I thought it was a knee or something.
She was in a sling, bro.
Oh, right. I don't know. Anyway,
took the bump on the sling. I thought
Mercedes was trying to give her a backstabber while.
Oh God.
Oh my God. I don't know if they like planned to do this, and like Mercedes was just gonna be like this like 100-pound woman trying to slam a woman who had like 8 inches and 100 pounds on her.
Yeah, maybe they were trying to show Chris Statlander's power is kind of how I looked at it.
Maybe, but it just looked it
awkward.
Awkward. It looked like a child trying.
Is that a fair word?
Awkward. Yeah, it was awkward. And it fell flat too, because the crowd was kind of like,
the crowd was that way before, as soon as Mercedes walked out.
Right, but like the crowd just was sort of like, what is happening here? And then, yeah, you're right. Camille took that bump on the sling arm.
And you know what? As somebody that enjoyed Mercedes' work as Sasha Banks in WWE, right? Like I think that it's okay for you also, right?
Right.
Enjoy
No, I loved her as
especially
Sasha.
her run as the Blueprint.
Uh-huh.
When she came back after that first time she took her ball and went home.
Uh-huh.
And she came back and the Blueprint with the blue hair and like was her own thing there for a little while. Like that version of Sasha Banks, I really enjoyed.
I loved her in
Mercedes' work.
NXT. In NXT, I think is really
Yeah.
where like her feud with Bailey, I feel like was sort of where she became like, okay, she's somebody to watch for me. Right. But
Yeah,
then
and then as like she goes through her career, it's like hell yeah, right? So then like she goes and becomes a free agent, and it's okay. She's gonna do New Japan. All right, that's
good
fair.
for her, she had,
Yeah,
and I think at the time I was like, well, she wanted to do it, and who am I to say don't go be in Japan, do your duty and be in the
the
WWE.
bloom fell off the rose with Mercedes Moné when she got hurt, and we heard for 14 months that she was coming to AEW, and then it just fell flat.
It did. They tried to have a huge debut for her. It fell flat. She was never the strongest on the mic, especially if she had to carry the feud. Like she could be mean to somebody on the microphone, but that person also had to be the caliber of a Bailey, a Charlotte Flair, a Becky Lynch,
Boy,
an Alexa Bliss,
yeah.
even a Nia Jax.
Okay, let's not get carried.
Okay, well, maybe not.
Nia wasn't good then. Okay, not.
I'm just saying she needed.
Listen, you're not going to talk. I'm not going to let you disrespect the name of my fucking thick queen. All right, because that is my boo thing right now, man. She's looking good. She's working good. I like
Talking good. I'm loving her
she's
backstage.
talking good. Like
Her backstage segments are.
when
I see her, when she shows up backstage with like Nick Aldis, and you hear whoop because they're coming back from the break or whatever. Every time that happens, I'm like, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next because she's got all these people around her, and she's just like kind of treating everybody like crap. And
it's elevating everybody. And that's the crazy thing. Like Nia Jax is the catalyst to elevate people.
Yeah.
How? But
if you told me that 2 years ago, I'd be like, "You're fucking high."
You're talking about Al My Hole?
My hole, my ass, my hole.
My whole chick is elevating people.
She's gonna elevate.
She's elevating herself too, bro.
Yeah.
She's still not the best worker in the bunch, but goddamn, she's not putting in the effort.
Her title run's been great.
I think it's been good, man.
Enjoying it.
And listen, too, and we got to eat shit on that because we were both like, man, this is bullshit.
We were.
She fucking beat Bailey. Like, what?
I hate
this
that.
Is bullshit.
I hated it. That day, I hated it.
But it's been a good title run. It's been very entertaining. Tiffany Stratton has been a great piece of that. They're really doing a good job building her up. And now you got Candice LeRae in the fold. My sweet Poison Pixie. You got two of my favorite women on the roster in the same picture. Three really.
Sorry for Indy.
Yeah, it sucks for Indy, but
sorry, Indy.
No. I don't know, man. It's been fun. It's been a fun little women's title reign, and like I can't wait to see how they end it because Tiffany Stratton still seems to, she's got the money in the bank, but she's still
cash that shit in soon though. Time is of the essence.
Well, she got until Mania.
Yeah, time is of the essence.
So I don't know, man. A lot of good things going on in the women's division on that side,
But now back to Mercedes.
Yes, I don't even know how the fuck we ended up down that.
Back to Mercedes and her, like it's just. Maybe you're right. Maybe she thinks she's Eddie. I mean, I feel like Eddie got cheers though. Eddie didn't get boos as much as like Eddie was kind of one of those guys in the Chris Jericho vein, meaning like when he was being a great heel, like people eventually got that, and it was like, yeah, like when he would do his spots and stuff, they would still like roar for him. Yeah, no, she has go away heat.
I don't like that at all.
She gets silence, dead silence.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, those are not packed arenas in the first place, but man, her segments are the quietest segments.
Man, sometimes, man, it just feels like her music hits and it just feels like the wind just goes.
Her music hits and it feels like COVID empty arena shit's going on. Like that's what that's what the standout is to me, is that like it sounds to me like when they first started doing stuff in empty arenas and there was no crowd noise whatsoever. That's really what her segments set like reminded me of at first, and they're not getting better. Don't do that.
Oh, sorry, I took a Mercedes in my pants. Oh. You want to talk about stinking up the place? Whew. Oh,
you're there by yourself, bud.
Oh, bud. Whew.
You're there by yourself.
Oh man,
you're just poisoning yourself there in your Montreal Expos hat.
That's rough. You like that, huh?
I do like that, actually. I was looking at that. I'm like,
it's corduroy.
Like, is this motherfucker wearing a Montreal Expos hat? Like, the Montreal Expos exited Major League Baseball in like 2004.
Fun fact: do you know why I bought this hat?
Because you were like, I remember the Montreal Expos.
I played for the Expos in the only season that I played Little League Baseball.
That's amazing. That's great.
That's why I bought this hat. But it's like corduroy. It's real, like it's pretty sweet.
We did have. You played in Paris, PA?
No, I played in Kings Creek.
Oh, Kings Creek. Okay, right. Okay, I forgot there was one down there too. But I forgot there was a Expos.
I played for the Expos. That's why I saw this and I really liked the color combo. And I said, yeah, but I only ever really buy Pittsburgh hats unless somebody buys me a fitted when they go visit a city, which happens a lot. Yeah. But I bought it.
I'm appreciating the
Dorian. What's up, fellas? How you doing, my man?
What up, Dorian? I feel like we get a lot more engagement on Sundays.
We probably do. It's just fucking Sundays are a goddamn nightmare for me sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe coming out of this holiday season, we'll be able to pinpoint Sundays as our day.
I'm a big fan of Sundays because then I can actually watch Raw live. Not that I don't enjoy. Not that I wouldn't prefer to talk to you, but if I could talk to you on Sunday and then watch Raw live on Monday, that to me sounds like a great Sunday Monday. That's a Sunday Monday I would look forward to.
Tony Bautista had the greatest batting stance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the one that like got all the way down and had the waggle and was real wide stance. Am I right on that?
Yeah, that was him. Would wiggle his back elbow.
I love a good bat waggle. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I don't know why people get so mad about bat flips. I love the goddamn disrespect. Like, I don't get into baseball all that much. It's like not my go-to, right? But
no,
I like watching the series. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch the NLCS and the ALCS, and generally I'll sit down when I'm done with work at night. It'll be in like the 7th inning. Perfect for me to sit there and watch it. You know what I'm saying? It's like 2-1. It's like, all right, cool. We'll see what happens here. Man, the bottom of the 9th, the top of the 9th inning in the game that the Dodgers won, that's how, out of it I am, right? Like, I sat down, it was the bottom of the 8th inning, and it was okay, perfect. Man, I'll tell you what, it was just pitcher on batter. To end that series, and that pitcher was juiced, man. He was fucking going after them batters, man. And that's the big feel. But you know what I'm saying? You hit a fucking home run in that situation. I'm gonna fucking throw my bat. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fucking absolutely.
I'm gonna flip my bat for sure.
And yeah.
So what I miss about baseball is the '90s steroid era.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the era we grew up in, man. Because everybody was into baseball then, dude. Fucking Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire.
I feel like
Barry Bonds just chucking shit.
I feel like that's where like baseball should have just continued to allow it.
I mean,
They
okay.
really should have. Like, it's like it was like WWE in the 80s, right?
Bro, I
Like,
fell down this rabbit hole on YouTube a couple of nights ago. Okay, and this is
yeah, I was
relevant.
about to pull it back to wrestling, and now
Okay, well,
now
I'm
you're talking
sorry,
about
I can't
baseball.
help it.
Go
I
ahead.
fell down this
Go ahead.
rabbit hole, and there was an April Fool's joke from the Major League Baseball, and it was like a 3-minute news segment of talking about legalizing aluminum bats, and Jose Canseco, the original steroid guy, okay, is taking BP for this video with an aluminum bat. He was cranking them bitches like 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, like that shit's wild. That shit's wild. But anyways, we're good. Reel it back into
Jose
wrestling.
Canseco also almost bankrupted an entire state with a video game. But let's
That's facts.
So back to I feel like baseball is very much like wrestling in the 80s, where like everybody was fucking juiced in the 80s and on cocaine. Like they were on steroids and cocaine, and it was like pure steroid cocaine insanity. Like that's the only way to describe the Macho Man. Like Macho Man doesn't happen without steroids and cocaine.
I mean, the Ultimate Warrior comes to mind whenever
The Ultimate Warrior doesn't happen
cocaine.
without
Okay, he's talking about alternate universes and shit, bro. Like my man was out there.
Do you remember? Okay, so there's a promo with the Ultimate Warrior in it. He's teaming up with Jim Neidhart and the Rockers.
So yeah, it's Survivor Series 1990, bro. I just watched it last night.
Yeah, so
because it's the Undertaker's debut.
So it's he's teaming up with Jim Neidhart and Jim Neidhart is giving a terrible promo about Thanksgiving, and the Ultimate Warrior is like taping everybody together, like just like he doesn't have the microphone, but you can hear him going, yeah, dude, and he's taping everyone together, and it's just like, what in the fuck is happening?
It was the debut of the Gobbledygooker.
It's like, what is happening right now? What is happening? It was Michael Hayes, right? In that one, we've come to decide that that one was, which one was that? Who was that? Who was the 1990
the Gobbledygooker?
Yeah. Did we find
Maybe
that?
It was Michael Hayes. I don't know that we know that.
I feel like we think that it's Michael Hayes.
Because Michael Hayes was still at the back end of the of his Freebirds run, on the downfall in 1990.
Right. That's what I mean, is that like, because we didn't know at the time who it was, but he worked for WWE, and it was like the Freebirds were sort of like, maybe they were on television sometimes, but like Michael Hayes was also like kind of becoming a backstage.
Hey, my name's Doc Hendricks.
Yeah, man. Anyway, so we've talked about Mercedes enough. I don't think we need to talk about her anymore. What's next? We can talk about Full Gear. Let's talk about Full Gear. Let's talk about Full Gear. All right, so we can kind of run through AEW Full Gear here, because this is a card. This is a card.
For those of you that are new to the show, okay, when we review cards, specifically AEW cards, Tom will run down, and I will just kind of pick at Tom.
He will
throughout this. So sit back, relax, get some popcorn.
So we gotta talk a little bit about what the 0 hour was first. So,
but how many times do I have to tell you, you cannot fixate on the 0 hour anymore?
I'm not fixating. We're just gonna boom through it. All right.
Like so the 0 hour pisses you off more than anything AEW does.
It's the one thing that makes me not want to watch the pay-per-view. So this is why I have to talk about it, because I still force myself to watch the pay-per-view because I know better now, but it's the one thing that makes me not want to watch it.
And it's supposed to make you want to watch it.
It does the exact opposite every fucking time. So let me start out with the first match that I remember watching, which was Anna Jay versus Deonna Purrazzo. Deonna Purrazzo has now fallen.
Oh, that sounds like, was that the 0 hour match?
That was the 0 hour match.
That sounds like that should have been a good match.
See, you would think that.
Oh no.
But it lasted like 4.5 minutes, maybe 6 if we count the introductions. And Deonna Purrazzo is the epitome of shiny new toy that Tony decided he didn't want to play with anymore. because now she is losing in 5 to 6 minutes to Anna Jay on the 0 hour. And she loses all the goddamn time. Remember when she was the number one contender and was terrorizing Toni Storm, who at the time was probably the best champion in AEW at the time, and all that was going on. And yeah, now Deonna Purrazzo, it opens up the 0 hour. I don't know if she opened it up, but like it was, now she's on the 0 hour, losing to Anna Jay in 6 minutes. And it's fucking bullshit. And she loses all the time now anyway. So now she has been cast aside, much like all of the other shiny toys that Tony acquires. Actually, this was the first 0 hour match.
So do you think so let's talk about the shiny toy thing. Do you think that is finally a piece of the puzzle that we've realized internally, that like we've got all of these people that are like supposed to be the best in the business, and nobody has a role,
right? And they're just shiny toys. And right now Deonna Purrazzo is the newest example of that. But this was actually the first of this match, and it was not a triple, it was a fatal 4-way, which if for those of you that don't know, in a fatal 4-way, nobody gets over, everybody gets under. Buddy Matthews won this fatal 4-way, but it didn't fucking matter
for Buddy,
because it was Dante Martin, the Beast Mortis, Commander, and Buddy Matthews. Buddy Matthews won in a match that was not good. I mean, it was, how could it be, really? Like,
Buddy.
It was so that was actually the first match. It went 10 or 12 minutes, and it sucked. Nobody got over. Buddy Matthews won, but I mean, he's the only person there with a name, so of course he did. And then we get the main event, which is Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall. Now, Big Boom AJ had with him Big Justice and the Rizzler. Now, I understand that this is the 0 hour. These guys are all very popular YouTubers. QT Marshall has not been on television much, except for with these guys. I guess he trained Big.
Quit. Didn't he quit?
No, he didn't. He quit. Did he quit? Maybe he did quit.
Yeah, I think he quit.
And then he unquit.
He
was part of some fucking garbage. So, for those of you that don't know, because you're wrestling fans, not YouTube star fans, Big Justice and the Rizzler are basically two morbidly obese Italian children.
Hey.
Hey, look, I knew you when you were a child. These kids would have had 20 pounds on you.
Listen, I just gotta look out for the big boys, okay?
Okay.
Listen.
I'm just saying. Look, man.
He's just leaning into it, bro. All right.
That's exactly what he's doing. He's leaning into it a little bit too hard.
I would agree with that.
Kid's like 4'2". He's got like 9 chins. All right. Like let's maybe like not have to crack his chest open.
Okay, listen. I'll speak. Okay, because as a child that found comfort in food. Hey man, don't fuck up. You only get one life to live, man. Figure it out.
Yeah, and you also would have had like 9 inches on these kids.
Yeah, I mean, I was always tall as fuck, but just
like to those of you who've never met Walter in real life, Walter's a big guy in every way imaginable. You look up to him. He's bigger than you. He's taller than you. He's stronger than you. He's smarter than you. He could pick you up if he wanted to, and there's nothing you can do about it. But anyway, the Rizzler and Big Justice are not this way. At least not yet. Maybe they'll hit a growth spurt. Maybe they're going to both be 8 feet tall. I don't fucking know. But so this was.
I don't know. I wasn't that short.
So this was a mess. QT Marshall is fine as a wrestler. This was a mess.
I would sure hope so. He's fucking teaching the next generation.
Well, but this was all a mess. Big Boom AJ wins because of course he does. Because why not parade QT Marshall out to lose to one of the Costco guys? So that sucked. Definitely made me want to shut everything off.
I mean, at least they were smart enough to put it on the 0 hour, though. I don't know that it should have been the main event. Maybe it should have been the middle event on the 0 hour.
Well, they kind of like sprinkled it through the 0 hour too, like it was like interwoven in. Like we got backstage segments and stuff. Orange Cassidy met the Rizzler.
I saw that. That's all over the socials.
Yeah.
So I mean, but listen, that's a great social media marketing opportunity for AEW. This sounds like growth.
Maybe don't give him a match. Like,
okay, this sounds like growth. All right, like they might have. Like, this is good.
So what we're saying is like they saw that WWE had Logan Paul, and they were like, "Let's get
a YouTuber." Yeah, he's popular right now.
Sure. Okay. So that happened. I just want to get this one out of the
way. Boom.
The Campaign Championship celebration featuring Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa. It was fine.
What's up with them and their
I think they're going to not be friends. I think Mariah May and Mina Shirakawa are going to have a weird feud, but it'll probably be actually kind of entertaining to watch. So that's something to watch. I'm glad Mina Shirakawa is back. I feel like she's got a lot of charisma. I like Mariah May. I feel like Mariah May is getting the heat that Sasha Banks wishes she had. And that's what we got here. Same thing with Mina Shirakawa. So good stuff. Cool little segment. I feel like they probably should have put it on Dynamite because Dynamite was rough. Maybe they should have just done this on Dynamite, but whatever. Cool little segment. Then we got Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher actually comes out with the win. A little bit of an assist, but at the same time, this was a good match. And let me back up a little bit. It was a good finish. The match itself was like this, oh, Will Ospreay is invincible kind of shit. And it's like, I'm kind of sick of watching that, if I'm perfectly honest. But Kyle Fletcher with the win, which I think is the right decision.
Yeah.
Because
Ospreay's
now it's
not going to lose any equity on that.
No, and there was there was a little bit of interference too. So
he'll cut a promo. He'll cut a promo on Wednesday that says, "Oh, you were the better man, bruv. I'll get you back one day, bruv." And Kyle Fletcher will come out and be like, "Ha ha ha ha! I told you." And then it'll be over.
Look at my haircut. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, and then it'll be over.
Exactly. Then we got Roddy versus MJF. Roddy versus MJF was cool. I mean, MJF won. Obviously, this was certainly a placeholder match because. Is there a reason why Adam Cole couldn't go?
Baby.
Like this was a placeholder match.
No, why he didn't win his third match.
That's right. Didn't win his third match. But I think Adam Cole couldn't go. But either way, it's fine. MJF versus Roddy went fine. Good match. Both of them very competent. All good stuff.
Wait a minute. What makes you think Adam Cole couldn't go? Like, you don't know. No, stop.
I'm just saying, maybe I
don't get to gloss over that. He was just on TV on Wednesday. What makes you?
Right.
What are you doing here, bro?
He was on TV, but he didn't wrestle. Did he wrestle on Wednesday?
What in the Dave Meltzer are you doing right now?
Did he wrestle on Wednesday?
Look at me. What in the Dave Meltzer are you doing right now?
It's a great camera angle. I don't know. Did he wrestle on Wednesday?
I don't think so. I think he was just there, but he wrestled the previous week, bud.
I know he did. Hey, well, maybe that hurt. Maybe he tweaked his penis. I don't know.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you?
What is wrong?
Like, you're talking about Christmas monkeys and now tweaking penises. Like, what is wrong with you, sir?
I'm just looking for T-shirts to sell.
Damn sexual deviant.
A deviant. We got Swerve versus Bobby Lashley, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Swerve versus Bobby Lashley was awesome.
Yeah.
Swerve gets hit with some interference because, of course, Bobby Lashley beats the ever-loving hell out of him.
Man, he looked good.
Choked him out to the Hurt Lock. I feel like this was like, remember when I was like, fucking, they just let him beat up Cheeseburger, which was fine. I get that he was a local talent, but
fucking Cheeseburger. I forgot about Cheeseburger, bro.
That's what happened on Wednesday. But do you want to is that where you debut Bobby Lashley? But I feel like they made up for it by
Forgot about cheeseburger, bro.
but they made up for it by like having this match, right? Like
But what makes that dude was like 5'8", 180 pounds. What?
no, he
Why
was
are
not. There's no way he was even cresting 150.
Why are you
motherfucker-
cheeseburger? You are too small, sir, to be called cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger
okay?
needed a cheeseburger, is what he needed.
Like,
Bobby Lashley hit him on Wednesday, and I'm like, oh man, this man's gonna die. Bobby Lashley's gonna kill this man.
my
Why is Bobby Lashley beating a child? Like it was
He
not
was beating two children.
too. What the other guy had some meat on his back. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't
not
tall.
that much.
He wasn't
Oh.
tall, but he was. I want to say their combined weight was probably less than Bobby Lashley, though. To be fair, like
I
it was
love
a-
Swerve.
huh?
I love
love-
Swerve.
Oh, and this match was. If you're gonna watch any match on the watch this one.
Yeah,
love it. Didn't go too long. This is what I like about Bobby Lashley matches. They're all about 8 or 9 minutes, and everybody always looks great.
All about that Hurt Business or Syndicate.
It was everybody looked fucking great. Everything was good. Bobby Lashley won, which is I think was the right call. There was interference, so Swerve can continue this feud, which I think is a great idea.
And then MVP at the post match press conference got asked a question by Wrestling Observer Newsletter, and MVP said, "I don't field questions from you clowns," and moved on.
MVP was just the best. Just that they were really firing on all cylinders.
I'm glad they found a home in AEW.
I am too, and I'm glad that they're just picking up the ball where it got dropped.
Let's just hope that they don't fall victim to the shiny new toy syndrome.
I hope not, but I'm really glad because I was really hurt when they broke up the Hurt Business, and then they teased them coming back. And they teased them exactly, and then they teased them coming back a few times, and it never happened. And now I'm finally getting it, despite on it being on a different show entirely. And I'm like, you know what? I deserve this, and I loved it. And I'm gonna pee, and you can start talking about Switchblade, Jay White versus Hangman, and how you feel about those two.
Well, I think that the build-up to this match was some of the best work that Hangman Adam Page has done in his entire career with AEW. I really like the spinoff that he's got going on here with his little crazy cowboy character. Like, especially started working on it really with Swerve and setting the house on fire and all that. But it's really working for him. Then he's got the little hitch in his giddy up, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like picking up on it. It's part of the deal. It's part of the story. And he's been really, really super, super crazy. And he's got a thing for Switchblade, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Switchblade out here just doing Switchblade things and really starting to look like the guy that we thought that he was going to be whenever AEW signed him. And, was really, really looking forward to these guys coming together at Full Gear. So we have to wait for Tom because, I haven't watched the show yet. So, yeah. Guess he forgot that part.
Please go to bed. I'm back. Sorry.
Hey, pal, you forgot I haven't watched Full Gear yet.
Well, I just wanted you to talk about how
I-
much Switchblade and Hangman were hanging out.
Yeah, but I haven't watched the show yet. So like I had to kind of give the backstory to
Yeah,
the
that's
match.
all that needed to happen.
Yeah, I did that, but I couldn't get it to last long enough.
So I had to really pee.
It's all right,
Really
story of my
lot
light.
pee.
I just can't make it last long enough. You know
It
what I
was
mean?
A lot of pee. Anyway, so this match also good. First bit of juice of the night. But there was a lot of it, of course. So these guys bled all over the place and beat the absolute shit out of each other. But Switchblade won. I couldn't believe it.
That's dope.
I couldn't believe it.
I was really looking forward to this coming, these guys coming together, because Hangman's been fucking killing it,
Well, and
and
also the story they've been telling is that like Switchblade has gotten the better of Hangman generally. Like I want to say it's like 8-3, and now it's 9-3, and it's like so like Switchblade is kind of the like the guy who beats Adam Page down, and I think he beat him with a roll up this time. It was like, oh, I can't believe he won again, and it's so like because now Switchblade's he's the baby face in this, which is kind of weird. Like Adam Page has basically been the baby face. I mean, as much of a baby face as you can be for a guy that hangs people.
I think we're getting the we're getting the Switchblade Jay White that we all thought we were gonna get
like 3 years ago.
I don't think it's been that long, a year and a half maybe.
No,
I think it's been that long, bro.
Hold on.
Because remember, dude, he was talking to Triple H, and it was like Royal Rumble season, bro.
No, you're right. April 19th, 2023. We're not even on a year yet. All right. Yeah. So yes. No, we're just over a year.
Yeah, yeah. So it's good. That's a good thing. I like that they let him win that.
I think he needed to.
Because Adam Page is another one of those guys that can come out and do something, and you're going to move on and forget about it.
Yeah. And he did like later that night. So we'll get there. But okay, the next one was Ricochet versus Takeshita for the international championship. Ricochet lost. The match itself was really good. I really liked Takeshita. I really
had to figure Ricochet was going to lose that, right?
I did because he's been there. He hasn't been there long enough yet to I think hold the title, especially
now that's like what 3 title losses in like 6 matches.
Yeah, he did get all the title shots though. You're right, and I think like 2 of them were the national champion, right?
All 3 of them have been for the international championship.
Yeah,
the one against Ospreay, and then the triple threat at the Wrestle Dream, and then this one here. Yeah,
yeah. So, I mean, he lost again, but you're right.
Middle top guy shit.
Middle top guy shit. But it was a good match. I mean, Takeshita's great. Ricochet's great. Ricochet does.
I'm not hating on Ricochet. He's just a middle top guy.
Ricochet does all the flippy stuff, but then he also sells it too, for the most part. Sometimes he gets up and pulls something out of his ass, and you're just like, no. And then he lays back down, and you're like, dude, you just took a Spanish fly. Like, just can you sell that a little bit instead of getting up and doing another Spanish fly and then selling the previous move? Like, come on. So, I mean, this was that kind of match too. But yeah, Ricochet lost again. So yeah, he is 0 for 3 title matches for this exact championship. I think maybe he shouldn't get a shot at this title anymore because he's lost 3 times now in like 2 months.
Yeah, like he's not had. I don't think he's had a match that hasn't been for this championship.
Well, he has, and he's won those ones, but these are the ones he's lost because he won his debut. He won a match to get this match with Takeshita.
Okay.
And there was some other exhibition randomly on a Saturday somewhere, but
yeah, see, I have a hard time watching the Saturday show right now. It's not fitting into my agenda really either.
So I watched the YouTube clips like maybe if I'm like, Ricochet. Okay, I'll click on that one.
Yeah.
That one's got
top middle guy shit.
That one's got 50,000 more views than any of the other
middle top guy shit.
Some of the other ones have like 10 views. But anyway, moving
That's
on.
A shirt right there, middle top guy shit.
Middle top guy shit. So
you're looking for shirts. I just gave you one, pal.
The match
shit.
The match that nobody cared about and nobody should have cared about, Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry.
Will you leave that man alone?
Was just as uninteresting as you think it may have been. He made Jack Perry tap out to that terrible dragon tamer, right? That whatever he calls it, his dragon finisher. Nobody looked good here. Daniel Garcia looks like he makes Facebook posts about how he's both dangerous and loyal. And I feel like Jack Perry needs to leave me alone for a while and just not be on television because he's very annoying. And then we got the biggest mess match of the evening. This match was a fucking mess, and I'm sorry. And it's only because there were too many goddamn people in this match. The fatal 4-way between Private Party, the Acclaimed, the Outrunners, and the Kings of the Black Throne. This match was a mess.
Brody in the middle of all that is too much humanity, let alone all that humanity.
Yeah, I mean, so this match was a mess, and Private Party retained because they just won the championships, and they don't let people lose their titles that quick generally, unless they do in AEW, unless you're Bryan Danielson or Daniel Bryanson. They don't let people lose their titles that fast. So, Private Party won. The rest of this match was a mess. The Outrunners are becoming kind of cool. I can't imagine the Kings of the Black Throne are re-signing with AEW, right? Like, you can't just be the first jobbers.
I feel like Malachi Black is on his way out the door.
I mean, but like, I feel like he's got to take Brody and Buddy with him, right? Because, like,
I mean, Buddy came in 2 months after Malachi Black, and then Brody didn't come in for like.
No, didn't Brody come in? No, Brody came in too because Malachi Black brought him in too.
Yeah. So there's a couple months in between the three of them, I believe.
There is, but I would say it's probably like a 3 to 4 month span of like where all their contracts would be coming up. I mean, unless there's been unless they were for different times or new contracts were signed or whatever. But man, like at least they're getting TV time again, which is great. But like, man, I can't imagine dropping the ball as hard as they have on that House of Black.
I know, bro. There shouldn't even be a fucking thing.
Like that should be the biggest faction. That faction should rival the Bloodline.
Yeah,
and they lose in different matches randomly. Those are sick. I know you sent me those earlier. Those are sick.
Shout out to the Black Cement Threes, boy.
Those are the best ones too. The cement ones,
bro.
Black and Cement. That's like
not to get off topic.
It doesn't get better than those.
Saturday morning felt so nostalgic, bro. Like I was like a 18-year-old kid, like 16, 17, had my own car, had my own fuckboy money, Saturday felt
fuckboy, damn it.
Saturday felt good, bud.
Got $200 in my pocket.
Waking up, getting in the car, going to the mall, waiting in line. You know what I mean? Like, and then getting the W. Oh, I was like a little kid just cheesing the whole way home. Like, yeah, look, I got him. Oh, felt so good. Oh, man, I imagine that's the feeling that Tony Khan gets every time he signs a new talent.
That makes sense.
And then doesn't know what to do with them after that. And
he wears them for a little bit and they go in the shelf.
Yeah.
Like sneakers, but like really expensive sneakers.
And I bet you that's how Malachi Black and the Brody King and Buddy Matthews feel.
And Julia Hart should be back soon. She's getting stuff, but I don't know. I don't know what you do with her if the three of them leave. But honestly, I don't know. She was the best part of that, but then she was out there basically by herself.
Now they're cutting. They're doing vignettes. Brody's like, it's time to come home. Like, what's going on? Are they making a push to give Malachi Black what he wants so that he'll resign? Like, are they trying to do business here? You know what I'm saying? Are they trying to negotiate via TV time? Yeah.
I mean, well, whatever it was, what they did with the Kings of the Black Throne last night was not that. It wasn't it. Let me put it that way. It was a mess. So they got to muck around in a mess. Maybe the crowd liked it. I don't know. I wasn't there, but anyway. Oh, then we get the poop break match. Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. I don't think I don't think we need to say anything about that.
No.
So I hope everybody took a good poop, refilled their beer, and got everything ready because the end of this pay-per-view was fucking wild, bro. Wild. So we get Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley. This match does get juice. I was so worried going into this match that they were going to fucking let Orange Cassidy snuff this shit out right as it's getting cooking. I was like, they're going to let Orange Cassidy win to let the crowd go home happy, give everybody a pop, and this is all going to be for naught. And I am going to fucking scream about this and be so upset. It's going to ruin like 15 minutes of this podcast because
I was so excited to hear that Jon Moxley won this match,
right?
Just so I didn't have to listen to you complain.
Oh my God. It would have been like, here's the problem is that had he lost it, I would have rewatched the match like 3 or 4 times and like picked apart every little piece. I would have seethed. I would have been seething.
Oh, it would have been epic. It would have been an epic rant.
I would have showed up with fucking notes and I'd have been like, I got fucking notes. You'd have been like, oh no.
Oh.
But I don't. So
because they made the right call. Somebody fucking said no.
Somebody said no. I don't know if it was Mox or what. So also Mox got
it's not going to work for me, brother.
Mox got the vast majority of the offense in. It was about 75-25 Mox. Yes, there was interference by Wheeler Yuta at the end. When Orange Cassidy started making his, because he does that, has to do that Hulk Hogan puff up thing. I get it, whatever. But like Wheeler Yuta came in and shut that shit down. And it was like, that was basically the story of the match, is that he was getting his shit shut down. And when you finally thought that, oh, maybe he's not going to get shut down this time by Mox, oh, here comes Wheeler Yuta. And kudos to Wheeler Yuta again. Guy's timing was great. I like that he's just not cutting his hair or his beard. I feel like he looks better.
Maybe they're gonna maybe they're growing it so that they can sacrifice it like they did Serena Deeb in WWE with CM Punk, and that'll be Mox's nod to Punk, because remember the whole Rocky 4 thing, Rocky 3 thing.
Yeah, but maybe. But the yeah, see, that's a deep cut right there.
That's good shit, pal.
Anyway, Mox wins this match, which is absolutely the right call. And then out of fucking nowhere, here comes Hangman Adam Page with Christian's contract in his hand. But he's like walking down, all yelling at Mox and pointing at him and saying shit and whatever. And you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Christian Cage comes out of nowhere, gives him the Impaler, a.k.a. the Unprettier, a.k.a. what's he call it now? The Kill Switch. The Kill Switch.
That's a dope name.
Then they argue, Adam Page and Christian Cage, about because remember, Christian's got the contract that he can turn in for a title shot, the Money in the Bank, basically. They argue about it. Other people start kind of swarming the ring, and everybody Mox gets out of there, and they're fucking booking it, right? They're leaving. They're out of here. They don't want any more to do with this. Like, they just had to beat a fired up Orange Cassidy. They don't want to be here anymore, right? They're leaving. Let Christian and fucking Hangman duke it out. So camera's following them back to their back to the parking lot, right? Back to there. It looks like they're headed for a truck, like a big, like extended cab truck where it holds like 5 people. Looks like they're booking it for a truck, right? Just as it pans to the truck, you see a car slam into this truck. Shit's flying everywhere. People are going, what the fuck is going on? Holy shit. Like, Claudio runs over to like where the keys are for the valet, grabs something else, and is like looking for a Lincoln or whatever, hits it, finds the Lincoln. They all sprint into the parking lot to jump in a Lincoln and hightail it out of there. Darby Allin then jumps out of this beater that he slammed into that truck, bleeding because he was driving the truck. And I guess he smacked his own head when he hit the truck. Bleeding. Runs out. Hey, I'm not done with you yet. this isn't over, just freaking out. And it's like, we just saw what the fuck just happened. Like, I'm like, I was at that point so happy that like fucking Mox didn't lose. But now, like, I'm like, how does the rest of the locker room just want to murder these guys now?
So Wednesday ought to be pretty dope then.
I hope so. See, I
Like-
hope this isn't just a wet fart, right? Because they ended this shit on a banger. And now I'm like, well, I got to watch Wednesday now. And if they disappoint me on Wednesday, may God have mercy on their souls.
I'll be watching with bated breath on that one. Sounds like it was a pretty good show, man. You know, I just
mean, the
watched
end
a
of it
couple. Watched a couple clips. I mean, some of the what I saw, Bobby Lashley swerve. You know, that was pretty much the majority of it. But I saw who won and was excited for that piece. But yeah, man, yeah, it sounds like it was a pretty fucking good show though.
Well, I mean, they you know, they had to kind of weave in some of that like 2000 WCW shit again with the Rizzler. But I mean, it was the pre-show, which again, why does the pre-show always make me not want to watch the show? And then I watch the show
fair.
and I'm like, oh, this was a good show. Why did they make a mess before the show? Just to put on a good show. And that's what happened. And to be fair, they also kind of made a mess on Wednesday. It was kind of also a putrid show.
It wasn't their best showing.
And I'm like, what? And I feel like that's really what AEW needs to focus on, is that like they had the main card. They probably wrote that a while ago, and they've been building to this for a month or so. And that all clicked. But the Wednesday show going into it was abysmal.
Their go-homes are always not very good.
The pre-show was worse. It's like, what in the fuck are we doing here, people? And then the main show goes on, and it more or less, other than, you know, Mercedes and Statlander, which was and the tag team championship 4-way. So like, really, like, and Daniel Garcia versus Jack Perry. Okay.
Oh, so, I'm sure that match was just fine. You just could you would find fault in that if it was a 37-star match from fucking Vince McMahon.
So 7 out of 10 matches were really solidly done. And really at this point, like, you know, if you can fire out solid 7s,
yeah,
I mean, I'm all about it, but like, let's get some consistency on the weekday shows. Like, if you can fire out some solid 7s on like, you know, maybe every show is a 7, but like sometimes you hit that 8, right? Maybe it's sometimes you get a 9 when you get a debut of a one Adam Cole or
maybe
something like that, you know.
They don't need any more debuts.
No. But we just got a bunch with like Shelton and Bobby and
that's
MVP.
Different.
It is different, and it's, or like say the comeback of one Samoa Joe.
Yeah, but he's friends with CM Punk. There's no place for him.
I hate it so much if that's true. I don't want to believe
call
you.
It like I see it, bub.
I don't want to believe you. But the longer this goes on, the more I believe you.
All I know is we talked about it the last 2 weeks, I think 3 weeks, maybe. We've talked about like CM Punk's friends kind of just like accidentally. And then we talked about Danhausen last week, and I said that. It's really weird that now all of a sudden I'm seeing the pictures of Danhausen and CM Punk standing next to each other on my Facebook feed, on my Wrestle Facebook feed, that says the real reason Danhausen's not on TV. And then you click on it, and it's because they don't have, you know, it's the story we already talked about, but it's just a picture of him standing next to CM Punk. It just
doesn't want to go away.
Nah, I'm
and
just saying.
Also,
where's FTR at?
Dax was at home with his dogs.
Oh, they're not good enough to be in a fatal 4-way against Private Party for the tag team championships.
I mean, apparently not.
Where's Samoa Joe at? Is he filming the show still? I
feel like that show's been filmed.
I feel like I I think it's getting ready to come out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
I mean,
I
we're
think early next year. Let's say February. It should be in
where's-
post production by now.
where's he at? But you know who I do see front and center? I see Jack Perry. You know, I mean, I see the Young Bucks. I mean, not so much right now. They have taken their leave, which surprising. And maybe that's why the show's getting better.
You're not wrong.
And listen, I come in here and I like to troll you about the Young Bucks. I think that they have absolutely great matches. But to me, they're not. They're nothing super special. Like, so their matches are cool. Their high spots are great. It's fun to watch. And I like to troll Tom about them being the greatest tag team in the history of AEW. And I mean, they kind of are, as AEW as we know it, right? But do they fit into this new direction?
I mean, probably not. Especially if there's like continuity and like seriousness is the wrong word, but like some level of believability.
Kenny Omega's not on TV either, and it seems like it's getting its shit together.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, there's definite low spots in like their go home shows cannot be as bad as this one was. Their pre-shows, I mean, if their pre-shows are going to be this bad wrestling wise, although the internet's talking about, I guess maybe I'm wrong on the YouTuber guys. I don't know, but I thought that sucked.
You thought it sucked because you don't watch them, but what about their audience that was like, oh, right, the Rizzler's going to be on AEW. Wonder what this is all about. And then they get hooked on it. And then AEW goes back to that basket. They find another. This is how you build viewership, bub.
I mean, you're right. So I feel like there's a danger there though, because that's almost like something that almost would make me want to turn it off, right? And it's like I'm too big of a wrestling fan sometimes for that.
And that's the thing, right? They're not that's not there for you. That's there for you to be like, oh, this shit's so fucking corny and campy. Like, I'm gonna go make some chicken tendies. Like, while this is on. That's what that's there for. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the Rizzler, and that's to build an audience. And
I'm just saying that there's a I feel like there's a danger there to get people to shut it off. That there could be like, yes, you may gain some people for that segment, but like you may also lose some people for your next segments, especially if like you're looking to build something like a Mox and his death.
Yeah, ride. But here's the thing though, fucking somebody that's not going to want to watch that's going to be bothered by that, but is already there, has already spent their money.
Yeah,
so,
you're right. That's a good point. You've already done it, and they throw it in there and before, and you're like, God, this is dumb. You're like, but I already gave him $50. Well, fuck.
Yeah, is that how you felt on Saturday?
Oh, I didn't give him $50, but no. And I also watched it this morning by semi-scrupulous means.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot there, pal. You should have just said, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't say it was unscrupulous. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, overall, like just the end of it, like was just fucking mine. It was great. And I'm just going to tell it was, I hope that everything coming out of that, they like, we just dive right back into it on like, we just like, we're pulling up and it's like fucking the end of Full Gear Part 2, Bloodstained Boogaloo. And we're like, just going out there. Like,
so are you full on like road chase, like invested, like Darby in the beat up car chasing the Lincoln into the parking lot? Like, are you like that invested into this?
No, like I'm interested. Like, so this brings back that nostalgia stuff of like when they were blowing up Vince McMahon's car and Stone Cold's truck was getting stolen and Stone Cold pushed. Was the Big Show in a trunk when the car went into the water, or the Big Show pushed the car in the water?
I don't remember.
Anyway, like it brings back those nostalgia, like outside car stuff. And so I like that, but at the same time, like I've been enjoying this whole Death Riders thing and the fact that they're giving it legs and they let him beat Orange Cassidy, not entirely clean, but like clean-ish.
So let me ask you a question. Just would you say John Moxley's the top guy?
When John Moxley wants to do top guy shit, John Moxley's the
That's
top
not what
guy.
I asked you.
Yes, right now he is the
Oh,
top.
that's not what I asked you either.
God. Yeah, he's the top guy.
Okay then. I'm glad that we could have that conversation.
We didn't have a conversation. You forced me. You cornered me into a yes or no question, and I'm
It's
too
just
goddamn
listen.
honest.
It's something
I'm
that
too
you've
goddamn honest.
It's something that you've tried to challenge me on for the better part of the last 5 years. Okay. And like sometimes you're like, oh, he's a top guy. And then other times you're like, this isn't top guy shit. John Moxley's not a top guy. Listen, you are a John Moxley fanboy. And when he's not doing what you don't like him. John Moxley is a top guy. Say it.
Fine. John Moxley's the top guy. But you know who else needs to be a top guy? Chelsea Green.
Yes. Oh my God, bro. What a great transition. You're taking my job from me. The only thing I'm good at, bro. No, man, listen, that shit's awesome. Like, I'm so pumped that she won that match. So pumped that she won.
I loved how she won it too.
Yes.
We don't have to talk about the rest of SmackDown, which was fine, but like, let's talk about this.
I think there's a lot to talk about on SmackDown. We can just touch on a couple of things, but
okay. But like, this especially was like so fucking cool.
Oh, it was awesome.
Like, it's like, it's like the end of Full Gear, like I was just talking about, is that like, so you get to this match and you're like, oh, okay, poor Blair Davenport, by the way. Sorry,
yeah.
like
God,
sacrificial
dude.
lamb. She's coming out and you're like,
she took all the bumps.
You're like, oh no,
she took
her.
all the pin attempts.
It's her. So Blair took all the bumps, other than Jade Cargill, who I'm sure I know didn't take a bump, but whatever. So
I heard she's really hurt. I saw a report that she might really be hurt and that they wrote her off TV.
I mean, that would make sense if that's why they did it this way, but
I haven't read it yet. I just saw the clicky title, but that might be a thing.
I saw it too. And I saw another clickbaity thing. But just like, you know, going into this, I feel like Chelsea Green is the crowd's favorite to win this.
She's over. They were chanting her name. Chelsea.
They were. She's the only person that got chanted. And like, Ashley hates her, but
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I think she's fantastic. And this match shows why.
You know why Ashley doesn't like her? Because she's playing a crazy bitch. And Ashley is real stable. Right. And she doesn't have no patience for that type of crazy that Chelsea Green plays. That's why she doesn't like her.
You're right. She doesn't have the patience for it. She's not responding, but I think she's still listening. Oh, she can't really hear.
Oh, bullshit.
Anyway, so Chelsea Green wins. I loved it. The whole match really was cool because it was like just kind of a cool segment, you know, because like you get out there and you're like, oh shit, Bianca's the favorite, right? Like that.
I was so bummed out whenever like the graphic was up originally, and I said, oh man, Chelsea's in there with Bianca.
Yeah, right.
Why
would you do that? You can't let Chelsea beat Bianca. Like, that's not okay. But like, and then I loved the way the match went too, because like Chelsea keeps getting like kind of just tossed out of the way the whole match. Like, she gets a little bit of offense in here and there, but is mostly just like ragdolled out of the ring. And Blair Davenport, like you said, is taking all the bumps. And honestly, what happens is that like Bianca Belair beats Blair Davenport to a pulp, while poking Chelsea Green back out of the ring.
Yeah.
And then Chelsea Green comes in, still ends up having to take a little bit of offense from Blair Davenport, which I loved, but then hits her with the unpretty her, which again, because Christian used it yesterday because it was the impaler, the unprettier, and now he calls it the kill switch, but I love it as the unpretty her.
Yes.
On Blair Davenport. And 1, 2, 3. The crowd goes wild because it's what all of us wanted, but there's so much they built so much story into there because now it's like, well, who? Why is okay?
I
So
think Bianca did it.
you think Bianca did it, and then you think she was out there for like 30 minutes?
I think Bianca did it.
I think Charlotte did it.
I think Bianca did it.
That would be great. So I was actually not.
I don't want it to be anybody but Bianca Belair. I am so ready for a Bianca Belair heel turn. Like I've been calling for it for 3 years.
Okay, so as we were watching this, I say to Ashley, I said, I'm like, I know that all the little girls love Bianca, but man, I would love a Bianca Belair heel turn on Jade Cargill.
I don't want it to be anybody but Bianca Belair. If that was not Bianca Belair, I am going to be so let down.
It would be really, really funny if she did it before the match and then went out and wrestled a match while she just laid there cold.
Diabolical shit, bro.
For like 20 minutes.
Give me that.
I don't think it's going to go that way.
I need that to happen.
I would.
Do you understand me?
Oh my God. It would be wild. Wild. I don't think that's where it's going to go. That doesn't seem to be the way. If it is, though, and how many times have I been like, it's not going to go that way, and then I'm like, God damn it, Walt was right, and then my phone goes, bzz, bzz, I told you, and I'm like, okay, all right, stop reading my mind. It would be great. It would be.
With Jade being out, in both in storyline and possibly IRL, the rumor mill is afloating that her replacement is going to be the man, Becky Lynch. Lots of rumors are churning.
It could be Charlotte, though.
Yeah, it could be.
Because Charlotte's kind of been back a little bit, but not.
She's been on the road. I do know that.
Yeah, and she went face to face. We got a face to face backstage pre-taped clip of her and Jade.
She's been working back. She's been working dark matches.
I mean, to be fair to her, she's been out for like 8 months. I think it makes sense. Get some of that timing back.
She's been gone almost a year, bro.
Been that long? Yeah, I guess you're right. Man, I still think about that match because you can watch her hurt her knee twice.
Yep. Yeah. And you can. Charlotte Flair in the middle card, Becky Lynch in the middle card, Bayley in the middle card. What? Nia Jax is the world champion. Liv Morgan's a world champion. What? I
mean, Rhea's back. Rhea's back too. So
yeah, but she's not. She's involved in a storyline.
Rhea's going to be in War Games.
Right. She's involved in a storyline. She's
not with them.
Top guy shit.
Yeah, top guy shit for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Walt Ramsey, and we have come to the last portion of our show. Paul Heyman's back.
Paul Heyman is back.
Lots of question marks.
Lots of little things that were like.
Why was he dressed like Solo?
Did he do it to drive the internet crazy?
That's a possibility.
I think that's very likely. Or did he do it because this is a CM Punk heel turn? This is everybody heel turn on, and this is how we get CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for no title
at WrestleMania.
In the main event.
Well, what about The Rock?
The Rock can fight Cody Rhodes in the other main event.
Yeah, but we want the money match. We want the head of the table match. We want the big kahuna. No pun intended.
Do they make it a triple threat to help protect
That's
The Rock?
So dumb. No. Fuck that. I don't want that.
I don't want it either.
Roman versus Rock, a la Rock versus Hogan. That's what I want. That's what the world wants.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay. The just like the end of the AEW show, this particular piece of business right here opened up a lot of fucking avenues.
Yep.
In WWE for some big spectacles moving forward. For some big buildings that they're getting ready to fucking play
and fill.
We had talked about this off air, I think, a couple of weeks ago about maybe it was in the group message about Brock Lesnar possibly being the fifth man.
Mm-hmm.
I never one time ever thought that it was CM Punk. Not one time did that ever cross my mind that it would be CM Punk. Not one time. Not one. It made no fucking sense to me that CM Punk would. But now that he's there, what do you always say? It's like the teriyaki sauce on the chicken that I didn't know that I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking original Paul Heyman guy. Yeah, give me that.
Right. And with the added element of
what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, and it's like, are they going to turn on Roman too because he was such a prick? Is this the wise man? Like, you left me hanging to dry. Like, think of the promos. Even if that's the case, think of the Paul Heyman promos. Roman doesn't even have to be at work. Paul Heyman could come out and just explain himself week after week.
But I don't think we're there right now. I think Roman's very much coming to work every week because like he's got to build his aura back, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think 2 and through WrestleMania.
This shit's wild, bro.
There's so much that could happen. It's like they're making it must see TV is what they're doing.
You know, and the only reason that Punk makes sense is because of the Paul Heyman connection to the bloodline, right? Outside of that, like I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And
if Punk comes out without Paul Heyman, everybody goes, "This is stupid."
We knew that War Games had to be the final blow off for this, right?
Yeah.
Like we've known since WrestleMania. Does it look like you thought it was going to look? The answer is no.
Not even a little bit. No. Like especially with the fifth men.
Yes. Bronson Reed, good for that guy. You know, I've spent the better part of the last 5 years dogging on that fucking cat. And the last 6 months, he has proven me to be completely wrong.
I told you so.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. See, it feels good, doesn't it?
It does feel good.
Now you see why I find joy in it, you know?
Yeah. I understand. It's like when Derek was on here more, it was like we got to say I told you so to him a lot more because he didn't fucking know what was going on. But like, yeah, it's like when he showed up and I was like, oh shit, because then in your mind too, after what just happened, you're like, oh fuck, now Seth's gonna want to play. But that's not the case. Seth,
and Punk and Bronson Reed were kind of having some problems, weren't they? A little bit.
They've met. They've had a little eye to eye a couple times. They were not kind eyes to eyes. They little trickly things. Paul Heyman and CM Punk had a little run in that this little bit harkens back to. I mean, there's a lot of little seeds I think planted. I don't think that necessarily that means that it's over. I think we could still see a Seth Rollins run in of some sort, maybe a Drew McIntyre return. Maybe, it could be anything, because like everybody hates everybody. Shit, maybe Kevin Owens comes out and gives Sami Zayn a stunner. We don't know.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be chaotic as fuck. And
because everybody hates everybody, except we know that Jacob Fatu loves Solo. because he said so.
Solo, I love you. Listen, I need that Samoan werewolf shirt with like the fucking.
How cool is that?
Oh God, I have to have that. He's
It's
not
not
wearing it
up.
on TV anymore. He's got a new one.
Yeah, I think are they? But they're both up still.
I don't know. I haven't been on there in a while. I'm worried what might happen. But they got some good merch out right now, man. Them fucking OG Bloodline with the yeet on the back. Come on, bro.
Yeet.
Come on, bro.
Yeah,
If that's not like the entire beginning of that, when down since day one ish and fucking we the ones, and come on, bro. That's got that vibe to it. Love that shit. Got some good merch right now. Got some good merch right now. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait for fucking War Games, bro. Can't fucking wait. And that means WWE did their job.
They sure did.
Because I'm here for it. CM Punk in the mix and Bronson Reed. Like Bronson Reed's a fit though, I think. Like he could be in that role long term, and I think that would be a-okay.
Well, he is Samoan. Like he's not like he's
he's got some
but he's Australian. So
yes.
like, which I guess Australia is a lot closer geographically to Hawaii than, I mean, you know, if you think about how globe works.
Well, I mean, unless you're a flat earther.
In which case, fuck off. Like, Jesus Christ.
I think it's silly. I mean, I've seen pictures. Trust me, I've smoked. I've been high enough to see it by myself too. You know?
Like Derek on the turnbuckle.
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I feel it.
My God, what a night! That is like the best OG Derek story ever. Now he's like a clean cut family man, rehabilitated his life.
Goes to bed at like 8:30.
Yeah, I'm proud of him though. I miss him, but I'm proud of him.
Hopefully he comes to my birthday party.
Yeah, talking about it. So,
what were we talking about?
I was just getting ready to segue into match of the week. Tom, what was your match of the week?
So it's really hard because, like, there were some good matches on Full Gear, but I don't think that I liked any of them. The matches per se. I loved the end of Full Gear, but it wasn't a match. It was like a segmenty thing. But I don't think I liked a match as much as I liked Bianca Belair versus Blair Davenport. Blair Davenport versus Chelsea Green. I don't think I liked a match that much than that one. And only because it was like the perfect segment, but it was also a match. So it moved all the storylines I want like to interest me forward. It
scratched Tom's itch.
It scratched every itch, although I do feel bad for Blair Davenport for having to eat the pin and all of the offense.
Listen, she's kind of new. She's got to just pay some dues, I guess. You know,
I mean, to be fair, it was.
She got an entrance, bro. Like she got a full entrance. Like
right,
you know, that's a big deal. At least they didn't come into her off of a commercial break, and she was already in the ring. I feel like sometimes when they do that, that's kind of insulting. But like, I understand.
That person's never won a match.
You know,
that's not entirely true, actually. But
it's not entirely true. I've done it to some big name women. Notably Naomi fucking a few weeks ago before she got back into this thing.
She still needs a gimmick change. We are 5 years into saying she needs a gimmick change.
Dude, it's her and Bianca both.
See, but Bianca's isn't as old.
Naomi needs a goddamn makeover.
She may even need a new name. I mean, I feel like little girl. Like this is the thing.
She could be Naomi Fatu. And but then you know she won't do that. Why don't you just let her be Trinity? Let her be Trinity. At this point, just let her be Trinity and let her fucking figure it out.
Let her be. She could be. You're right. She could be Naomi Fatu, or even shit. Let her be Trinity Fatu. Put her with the bloodline. Just get her out of the glow.
Let her grow, because we're tired of the glow.
Exactly. But yeah, I think that's my match of the week. I hope Blair Davenport starts to get, because I think she's very good and I think she's good on
Yes.
the mic. So I hope that good things come for her as well out of this. But I think that it, maybe,
We're in need of another dark character in the women's division in WWE, and she scratches that itch.
and I'm hoping that like this is kind of like, because it elevated everybody else in this match, that like this is like sort of a good spot for her, right? As
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of a new like I'm hoping that this is like not a like, well, you're gonna eat the pin as kind of the nobody. I'm hoping this is a like, hey, we're gonna make you part of this big storyline match. Yes, you're gonna get pinned, but also like, this is gonna kind of this is things are going to branch out from here. So, this is good for you. Like, I'm hoping it's a reward, not a like sort of go away.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope, she'll get there, man. She's not been on the main roster all that long. So, in Isla Dawn and Alba Fire, they had the tag team championships there for a little while, but where the fuck have they been? So, it's
Somebody got out. I hope one of them is hurt. I think that's the case.
what? That's so
Not
rude.
I hope, but I think it's like,
you bastard. Oh, you're a terrible human being.
I'm just saying,
God.
I think that's what it is. I don't think it's necessarily like
I'm sorry,
creative
Tom.
doesn't have anything for you.
You're not a
think
terrible
one of them's
human
hurt.
being, Tom. I don't mean that. That was a joke.
I mean it like,
I know, but I just, we started getting nostalgic talking about Derek, and then you gave me a pop-up, and like that's something I would have said to Derek, and it's just I don't mean that. You're not a terrible person. You're a lovely human being.
I mean, I can be.
You're a lovely human being.
Thanks, Walt. I appreciate it. You're a lovely man too.
Okay, let's not get carried away.
Okay.
All right.
What's your match of the week?
My match of the week also made me feel good. And it might not have been the best match on the card or the week or the show or what, but I enjoyed it, and I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed it. My match of the week was Tommaso Ciampa versus Montez Ford.
It was fun.
It was a fun little match. I am so prime for heel run Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster that I can taste it. And I love that we're getting it. And we're in the self-destruction, and the fact that he lost to Montez Ford in a singles match via a roll-up, I love it, because his character is going to be able to stew on that and really have some just like anger about it. And it's going to eventually boil over on Johnny Gargano more so than it already has. And then we're going to get heel run Tommaso Ciampa, and I can't wait. But commentary did a really good job during the match talking about Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins as possible singles competitors too. That's like, hey, we love each other. We're going to be the tag team champions, but like we can go do other things and chase singles glory while we're together. And Montez Ford went out and showed that he has the ability to be a top guy. And I'm sure when Dawkins gets out there and he has a singles match, he's going to have an opportunity to show that he was a top guy. But I think early in the match, Montez Ford came fucking flying out of the corner like he was shot out of a cannon. And I just get this feeling like as I watch the first, 4 minutes of that match, everything that Montez Ford did, Tommaso Ciampa was pushing out of, and I just get this feeling he's like, you got to fucking slow down, bro. And then Montez Ford, you got to fucking slow down, because you could see it happen, right? And then the match settled into its flow, and to just watch those guys work was awesome. But Montez Ford needed to slow down in the beginning. It was noticeable he was rushing things, and he was just trying to get there. And what do they always tell you? What do you always hear from the wrestlers? When you think that you've slowed down no slower than you can go, you need to slow down a little bit more. And I think that was evident in that match, and I loved every second of it.
It was fun to watch, because I feel like, yes, while like Ciampa's the kind of guy that can kind of take that extra speed and still make it look good, and that's really where those guys just excel. And Ciampa, I think particularly, like it's probably sort of he's on his sort of swan song at this point. I would think.
Well, he's our age.
Yeah, you're right. He is,
I
but
mean,
he's had a
he's-
lot of neck surgeries and back surgeries, and
I don't know, man. I think we're in store for something special, bub.
I mean, I would like to see him win a by swan song. I'm saying like he's got 2 years.
I think we're about to see something special, bub.
All right.
I can feel it in my bones.
Maybe. And I think it's a feud with Johnny Gargano, and then maybe after he wins that,
Mm.
no,
I could absolutely see him beating Cody Rhodes one day.
I hope you're right because I love Ciampa, but I don't think that doesn't sound plausible.
It absolutely sounds plausible. Do you know the dastardly shit that Ciampa would do to fucking the American Nightmare?
It'd be some great promos too.
See, now I fucking planted the seed.
Oh, jeez. It's not going to happen. There's no way.
Hey, listen, and is Cody getting ready to turn heel too? What was up with the shit with fucking Carmelo Hayes backstage? Huh? Like, after the Kevin Owens thing, is Kevin going to break fucking Cody Rhodes into being a bad guy? Huh? Is that what's going to happen?
That'd be fun. I don't think so, though.
Huh? I mean, he's back there just fucking picking random fights with fucking dudes. I mean, I don't think proper Cody Rhodes would have reacted in such a manner when Carmelo Hayes said about somebody told him about himself. I don't think Cody would have reacted proper Cody Rhodes, 3-piece suit Cody Rhodes. He wouldn't. No, sir. No, sir. What was that?
Talking about three-piece suit Cody Rhodes.
3-piece suit Cody Rhodes. That's right.
Cody Rhodes.
Just saying. Let me see heel Cody.
Oh, I'd love it, but I maybe we'll see.
Cody Rhodes does have some fucking lovely 3-piece suits. I wish I could dress like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You dress like that, you look like you own a bank.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a proper gentleman. Okay. Nick Aldis dresses like that 3-piece suit. I'm a sucker for a 3-piece suit. You know, I got a couple 3-piece suits. Okay.
They're hot.
Oh, they're fucking but you know what? You look sexy as fuck, man.
Dude, you're looking
you know, big boy got it, you know what I mean? But
them shits.
I wish I could dress that way every day. It just doesn't fucking fit into my lifestyle. But you know, it does fit into my lifestyle.
There you go.
Boy.
Oh, you can dress like that every day.
Oh, I love it. Hey, man, if you're still hanging out with us, we appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Maybe even consider subscribing. That would be great. Would really help us out. Yeah, man, check us out over on the audio side. We're available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You know, do your thing over there. Give us one car ride to work, or 2 or 3, depending on what your commute is. Maybe you listen to podcasts at your desk. I don't know. I just always say listen to us on your commute because I'm the chooch that drives an hour every day. Check us out over on Twitter and Instagram at @1_FallWC. That's ONE. And as always, thanks for hanging out. It's all love. We'll catch you next week. One Fall WrestleCast. I don't know, man. Heel Cody Rhodes. Just saying.
I mean, maybe. He said he wouldn't do it, but that was an AEW. So like now maybe in WWE